Welcome to the Backyard Basketball Podcast, presented by the Ordinary Podcasting Network. I'm Christian Steck, your host, and I'm brought to you every week by my buddy, BDC. What's up? We got some Christmas games coming up. We're going to talk about the 5 Christmas Day games, our thoughts, and that reflecting towards what's happening in the NBA right now. And let's get at it. So we got 5 games. I got to tell you, man, you know, the Christmas Day games are always a favorite of mine, whether it be the uniforms that they wear on Christmas Day. I feel like some seasons it's always been a little bit more unique than others.
Yeah, those are usually fun, except those t-shirts. Those were a bad idea.
Oh, yeah, I was not too much of a fan. When was that?
It was like LeBron back in Cleveland days, or maybe late Miami. But I felt like Cleveland ended up wearing them on the regular, and it just looked so silly. Yeah, it's like if hockey jerseys ended up being cut off.
And they were like super tight to the body.
Yeah, they just don't work that way. I don't know.
Have
they come out with what they're going to look like, the new jerseys?
I don't think so. So far that I've looked online, I haven't seen anything, which has also kind of made me wonder, because I think some seasons they've kind of really downplayed the uniqueness of said jersey, or maybe they even wear just another jersey that's part of their collection for that given year. But I don't know. I hope they're good. The one thing that I do always notice is that there is some standard you see amongst all the teams that get to play Christmas Day, that they all are kind of going for some type of style or look, which is like kind of fun.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. They're definitely trying to do the same thing. As for the games, there's some like good matchups, and then there's some teams you're like, come on, really? I mean, yeah, everyone loves Luka and LeBron, but they're neither team sitting in the playoffs. We talked about this last week. It's like, really? This does not look good.
100%. You know what's crazy too? Like when the season started and, you know, these games would be announced, and I'd be looking at that like early on in the season and thinking to myself that like certain matchups, for example, the Philly and the Knicks, that I'd be like, oh, that's the game that you're talking about now with Dallas and the Lakers. And I thought, you know, the Mavericks and the Lakers would be like a way more contested, exciting matchup to watch Christmas Day. But it's just crazy. Like, and again, that's a testament to like the Knicks are playing well. Like some of these weird teams that you wouldn't have thought. Like it's just such a topsy-turvy season.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, they schedule it well before they know how these teams are going to play. Come on, switch it up. Switch it up.
Did we? I'm trying to think, like, because it was tricky. Like we won in 2019. Talking about the Raps, and that next season, so that would have been still that would have been pre-COVID, just before. Did we have a Christmas Day game that year?
Yeah, we played the Celtics. Tim went. My brother Tim went.
That's right.
Yeah, that was the only year, I think.
That was like the only year we've had a Christmas Day game, eh?
Yeah, it was in Boston too. Oh, no, it was in Toronto. Of course it was in Toronto.
No, it was good. Yeah, because Tim was there. Oh, that'd be hilarious if that was in Boston. Anyways, okay, we're going to talk about the games. I think first up, let's just talk about this Knicks team and the 76ers. They play at 10 a.m. This is Mountain Time again. So if you're East Coast, I guess that's right around noon. So last night, the Raptors just ended the Knicks' 8-game winning streak. They had an 8-game winning streak. Julius Randle is playing kind of like his star year that he had like 2 years ago, where like he was like looking quite promising, or a year ago. No, it was 2 years ago.
2020, I think.
Yeah. And then last year it was just like they paid him all this money, and then he like completely like shortchanged. It looked like towards the Knicks, like he was just like nothing like we saw of that 1 year. And you think, oh, is this just kind of a one-off type thing? Sometimes you see like these guys come into the league and they have like this really all-star standing out, you know, season, but the consistency necessarily isn't there, or you get other factors, injury, what have you. but he was supposed to be like we have RJ Barrett, this up and comer. Um, Julius Randle was the defined player for that team. He kind of seemed like the face of that team. If you're going to give the guy the ball when the time's winding down, he seemed the one that was most reliable in that 1 year. And we're starting to see some reflections of that again this season, which is kind of exciting. And the fact that the Knicks are actually, contestable, like I think they're right around they're the sixth seed.
Fifth, sixth,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, there's a sixth seed in the East. The 76ers are the fifth seed right now.
Oh, there you
Like
go.
it doesn't shock me that, yeah, sure, the Miami Heat, the Atlanta Hawks, the Toronto Raptors are below the Knicks right now. And you could also say the Pacers, but I don't necessarily the Pacers maybe will get to where the Knicks are once the season ends. You would maybe say more of the Heat, the Hawks, or hopefully the Raptors. But it doesn't surprise me, man. Like I wouldn't be shocked if we get towards the end of the season come playoff time and this Knicks is still the sixth seed in the East.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what I mean. The game against the Raptors the other night, they didn't look great. They
they
looked like they
didn't.
were barely holding on, which is crazy because didn't they weren't they coming off an 8-game winning streak?
Yeah, it was an 8-game winning streak. They were like dominating teams, and it was incredible to see Pascal, who dropped 52 points that night.
Yeah, that's wild.
To like, if it wasn't for him, there was definitely no shot we were going to win that game. It was a grind. It was one of those games where, like, albeit, yeah, the Knicks weren't playing all that great, but there was still this defensive prowess, which you would expect from a Tom Thibodeau type team, that it was still such a grind and a slog. Like all of those points really had to be earned. But it was
Do
a
you,
great convention and I think opportunity for the Raptors. What are you gonna say?
do you think Jalen Brunson's really $100 million guy?
I will say that him coming to the Knicks, I think, elevated them to another level. That can't be denied. But yeah, like I think, Knicks definitely paid a premium for Brunson. They needed somebody. It's so crazy. Like no star player. They'll kind of tease, but none of them will really want to commit to the Knicks. And the Knicks are so desperate that like they'll like overpay any of these guys. So I mean, I definitely feel like he's overpaid, but I can't, you know, not acknowledge that I think has been a really centrifugal figure for their success this season. Like he's definitely
Yeah,
played a
it's
significant role.
surprising to me. I mean, I'm looking back to some of these stats. Like he's had some 30-point nights, 20 points. But when you look at it just seemed desperate for the Knicks to pull him in. And then, I mean, I guess his dad's the assistant coach, and now they've lost a second round pick in 2025 for tampering too early with him in free agency last
Oh,
season. It's
yeah,
just like
that's not good.
a dark cloud. Although he's playing well, so hey, props.
And this was the consolidation for not getting Donovan Mitchell. I think that was like
Ooh.
what the Knicks really wanted, and obviously would have been the best pick to overpay. I don't know why I mean, obviously him going to Cleveland, he has a basketball savvy enough sense that what they had there was definitely way more value than what the Knicks had to offer with their team at that time.
You think Donovan Mitchell chose where you wanted to go?
I think so. Like I think
Oh
him.
no, I no way. I think Utah was like Danny Ainge was like, who are we going to get the most value? Where are the
But the case in point, the Knicks would have, I think, given Danny Ainge the most value.
So why didn't he do it?
Because
Just say fuck you to the Knicks.
well, there was also a bit of smoke to be had. Like if you remember at that time that I think right before Donovan went to Cleveland, which was kind of a surprise to us, that I remember seeing a lot of talk about New York Knicks. And they
Yeah.
were luring Donovan. They were getting close to
Well,
landing
there's
Donovan,
smoke
where
around New York
reports were saying.
every offseason. Whether it's
Exactly.
KD and Kyrie, whether it's Zion, whether it's
And
they're always in on somebody. Russell Westbrook, and have they landed
the
any of those guys? No, they've got Jalen Brunson
Jalen Brunson.
and
I
Julius
will say,
Randle.
oh god,
Oy,
I
oy,
will
oy.
say, like I wonder because we were talking about Mitchell here. Did the Gobert trade happen before
Before
to
Mitchell left, yeah.
Minnesota?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it all
So
seemed like it was going to be, let's move away from that. Donovan Mitchell now has his team. They can build. They were still what? Utah was still at the top of the West. Like this team was
Yeah.
still in contention and winning. And then I think Donovan Mitchell after was like, okay, well, this
Well, it
this
was just
this ship's not working.
they would play really well during the season, but I don't know if you felt the same way, but I always felt when playoff time came, I just had a guaranteed gut feeling that I knew they were always not going to be able to do well.
Well,
Like it was just one of those
they
teams
needed
that
a gritty guy to get in there beyond just those stars, right? Well, I don't think their bench was all that great.
no, no, it was. I mean, you got Mike Conley, but he was always kind of in and out, and
Starter.
I don't know. I'm not very high on Gobert, to be quite frank. Like
I've
I think the
never
defensive stuff is great, but there's just like nothing offensively. And that being said, him getting traded to Minnesota and what Danny Ainge got from Minnesota, which I think like literally is one of the craziest steals of resources from another team and just giving them like a dud that we've seen in like,
A former
a few
defensive player of
years.
the year, Dud.
But he's just like offensive, and albeit Minnesota's kind of turned things around recently. I don't know, man. Like
Well, what
I
did they
think they
get?
got
They gave up Pat Bev, who ended up with the Lakers after that.
so the Timberwolves got Rudy Gobert, the Jazz got Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, Leandro Bolmero, Walker Kessler. So that Walker Kessler was the number 22 pick in the this last draft, and he's been really good. Jared Vanderbilt. A 2023 first round pick, a 25 first round pick, a 26 pick swap, a 27 first round pick, and a 29 first round pick. They got 5 picks, actually 6 picks and 4 players for Rudy Gobert.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
like
Wow.
that. So them getting that, I think I could see where for Donovan Mitchell, which I'm sure New York would have paid a lot, but I don't know. Maybe that also scared the rest of the league when they saw that was the precedent for these players. I don't know. I mean, Cleveland, give credit to Cleveland. They maneuvered that incredibly well.
Yeah, now
They
they're
honestly
sitting
should
third or
be
fourth in the East.
they should be a Christmas Day game team.
Yeah, I
This
think
year.
they will be. I think they will be next year.
Yeah, it's such an exciting team to watch. But I mean, in terms of that Knicks team and the 76ers, like I don't know. It's kind of a wash for me, to be honest. Like that's an early game. Like I'm still gonna probably be kind of, opening presents, having some coffee still, like
Some mimosas.
yeah, whatever, dude. Like I don't know. I'm not necessarily as enthralled to get up first thing in the morning and watch these two teams play.
What?
But I will.
You can
Okay,
catch the
first
highlights,
off,
what you're saying.
yeah, catch the highlights. But I guess I will say the one caveat would be, which I wish there was more conversation because I was just hearing about this recently about MVP cases, and the fact that I think the points leader right now is Joel Embiid, and watching him play Christmas Day, and if he has a really good game, that's a great thing to put in your back pocket as you're going towards the end of the season for an MVP case. And I'm not gonna lie, I would be kind of happy if Joel Embiid got it. Like if he plays this
Yeah.
well still for the rest of the season, like he deserves it. I still don't want. I know I said the 76ers are going to win, and now I'm such a hypocrite because I don't want the 76ers to win.
You want to see
But,
this? That's what...
yeah, but still to see him win MVP, like that's great consolation prize.
It is for sure. Speaking of MVP numbers, like you can't rule out Mr. Jokic, who dropped 20. He dropped 40 points, 10 assists, and 27 rebounds against the Hornets last week. What the fuck, man? That's beyond dominant. Now, to be fair, the Charlotte Hornets are the worst team in the league.
That's true.
But dude, I think he had 20 rebounds before the half.
And the craziest thing about that guy is he's like Steph Curry in the sense that he's kind of like he's a selfless player. Like he's very considerate of constantly moving
Pass
the
first.
ball.
Yeah.
Like
triple-double. 40 and a 27.
I feel like it's unfortunate, but I feel like the league is like probably going to be exhausted on wanting vote Jokic again for MVP, but he totally deserves it. Like he is
I don't
insane.
care. I don't care. How many years did MJ win it?
So Okay, your thoughts, the Knicks 76ers game. Who do you think is going to win? Are you interested in watching it?
No, I'm not interested, but I think the 76ers will win.
Okay. You know what? I think 76ers will win it too. 12:30, again, this is Mountain Time. Uh Lakers Mavericks.
Oh, this is the
Um
most exciting game that there is. I'm
okay.
most excited about this game
Tell us why you're so excited about this game.
because I love Luca and I love LeBron. And what better game to watch? Two of the biggest superstars. What is it? A 13th and a 16th seed? A ninth and a 13th seed. There's no 16th seed. A ninth and a
Let's go.
13th. It's fantastic. This is the game I'm most excited about.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. I think I would have been more excited if Darvin Ham didn't play 80 into the literal ground again. Yeah, man. I don't know.
God,
Like
AD.
I think Dallas is, or at least Luca's got a good argument for MVP case this season for how he's playing, but he's got no help and the team looks just terrible.
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic, if you couldn't tell, about my excitement with these teams. But listen, the Lakers, although sitting in 13th, they're really only 6.5 games back of first. So there is time, but their time is slowly dwindling. So they will need to win this game for their chances.
Actually, it's a very important game for them.
It is big. It is big.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah,
Christmas Day game is big, I think. There's
for
lots of
sure.
attention. But where they're sitting, they need to come on strong in the second half, and this is when it has to start.
At a terrible time. Like I hate the fact scene with um Anthony AD about the like whole questionable, we'll kind of wait and see in terms of the progression of his injury. It's a foot injury.
I mean, I'm
There's
still
not.
surprised they're not playing the Kawhi card and just spotting him minutes here and there. He
Yeah,
cannot be playing as hard as he's been playing because he cannot stay healthy. He
dude, that is a
cannot stay
great
healthy.
call. That's a great call. The Kawhi method.
Well, would you
Um,
rather him sit out for the entire season, or
no,
would you
and,
rather him sit out for a game here or there?
and he's been playing so well, and you're also worried with more time. It's going to take more time for him to ramp up, and then there's always the risk of injury. This guy has always been injury prone. This is just the nature of who he is. I think we need to stop beating around the bush and seeing it any other way. And it's okay, at least, in today's NBA game, put it in context. If this was 20, 30 years ago, we didn't have as much understanding, you know, um, a close eye, data analytics about these minutes and the effort and the technology, even with the shoes that these players wear to endure this wear and tear. And we have to be considerate of that. Now that brings up a greater question, which maybe we should say for another pod. I was just hearing this recently, and I thought I would love to get your thoughts on, and maybe we should take some time to think about it. But how we have this 82 game season, and it's become more and more as we've moved further on into the future that these players and these teams are being way more, they're leveraging playing and not playing these players way more. Like you said, like with Kawhi Leonard and sitting them. And on one hand, it's like necessary for certain players to endure to be able to make it to playoffs to even have a chance to compete. Because if they had to do the full regular game season, the way that the game's played or how much effort they're playing or whatever it is, they just can't endure it. Um, and then you have players as that option to not burn them out, sit them, and then by sitting them you have fans going to these games and not seeing these star players play, or you're watching these games at night at home and you're not seeing these star players play. And in terms of the competition, the best that it could be in the NBA, it feels like you're losing a bit of that in these games during the regular season. So then what do these regular season games mean? And I think like it's something to consider and think about in terms of looking at projections in the future. If you're going to have a midseason game tournament and how many games you play in a regular season, so then games matter more and all these lead up to more significant factors in terms of the playoffs. But it also counteracts this like consideration of how much data we've been seeing these last couple of years and the injuries that these players have been sustaining and the options and decisions that these leagues are making, these teams, in consideration to the injuries that these players are having to deal with. I know that was a long rant, but did that make
I
sense?
wonder. I mean, I wonder how. I wonder. I heard wind of talk around extending how many games. I don't know where they're at with the in-season tournament. I don't know, man. I think that the physio that it takes to keep bodies healthy, like it's so much more advanced than it ever was. And when it comes to limiting time on the court, you each player and the team has to know what they're capable of. And I think, something like AD, there's proven statistics now. Even Kawhi, there's proven statistics, and they make a plan for the player. I don't think every player has the same kind of ability, right? So
Yep.
making sure that everybody stays healthy with their own body and their own way of staying healthy is really important to the success of the team. And then, like these are highly paid athletes. So you hope that the structures around them, the resources around them support them so that those organizations get the best value out of them.
100%, man. But yeah, I don't know. It makes me think that if we had lesser games in the regular season, this is something maybe you could even consider in hockey as well too. The games will mean more. I even heard an argument which I thought was kind of interesting too. Like, for example, in football, every week, there's you're playing one team. So for a whole week, you get a lot of story and kind of drama and all of that. You can kind of milk it in the media leading up to these two teams playing on Sunday or Thursday or whatever it is. Um, it was a cool idea that, say, like in basketball or in hockey, which also could save you a little bit value in terms of travel, that maybe you package the schedule around if there's less games, that you go to a city and you play a team, say, like 3 times in a week. So you're seeing more of one particular team, which is also saving you on travel. And then it also builds up that kind of hype that you get in the NFL, where we get more specialized focus on, like, say in the NBA, okay, the Raptors and the Celtics are going to be playing, these 3 games over, 4 or 5 nights. So that week, these 3 games, it's the Raps and the Celtics. So we can build a narrative, I guess what I'm trying to say, about these two teams. They get to learn a little bit more from each other during that period of time as well, too. So as we get into the playoffs, that might have more implication in terms of kind of the chess that's being played between the two teams. I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that that's a great idea. I mean, it's going to take a lot to convince everyone. I think that the league has already engaged in those conversations of how to kind of move to a future idea of the NBA. I think the NBA of all leagues is more advanced when it comes to improving upon itself in the future. I think other leagues are a little bit more stuck in their ways, and I think if any league can do it, it's the NBA. Trying new things, trying to make it better. So
Totally,
yeah,
man.
yeah, dude.
Well, that we were going to talk about some Christmas games. We're getting on all sorts of different tangents. But that that's what we do. So the Mavs Lakers. Are you going to watch that game at all or any of it?
Yeah, I'll probably check it out. Yeah,
What's your gut feeling? Who do you think's going to win?
I think this is gonna be an upset. I think the Lakers are gonna win this.
Nice. I like it too. I think the Lakers will win it as well. Um, Nothing would make me happier than on Christmas Day to see Mark Cuban with sad face courtside. The Lakers beating them.
Sad face courtside.
Uh, okay, 3 o'clock Western time. Our next game on the docket, which is the one I'm obviously most excited for. I think I unfortunately am going to be at some in-laws at this period of time. I don't know if we'll be able to get the basketball game on. I might have it on my phone.
Just throw it on your phone under the table.
Yeah, there we go. they'll be like, "Why do you look so glum?" And it's like, "Oh yeah,
It's
I'm
just
just
Giannis thumping on my team. Is that it?
probably." The Bucks and the Celtics are playing in Boston. This is gonna, I think, in my opinion, there's two games. I actually no, never mind. This is kind of the game. I'm not gonna lie. I was really hyped for Grizzlies Warriors, but now that Steph Curry's injured and out, I'm kind of bummed about that. Um, I think this is the game I'm most excited for to watch. Obviously, but I also think it's going to be a really competitive game. I love both of these two teams, what they're doing this season. In my opinion, as amazing as Jokic is, still in my eye, Giannis is and Tatum's playing incredible, but I think Giannis is the face of the NBA. Um,
Oh
he's
yeah,
just,
undoubtedly.
he's just,
Yeah,
he's just amazing. Like,
yeah.
it's yeah,
Milwaukee surprisingly is the underdog here in this game, this matchup.
yep.
According to BetStamp, they have them at plus 150.
That's pretty good. That's actually not bad value.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if I was going to place a bet on these games, I'm not going to place a bet against my Celtics. But for anyone else out there, you want to place that bet, I think that's a very reasonable bet because there's a very obvious good chance that the Bucks could win this game by a hair or just absolutely dominate this game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
So who are you picking?
obviously I'm picking the Celtics. I'm picking
Oh
the
yeah.
Celtics. Tatum's just consistent. I think this particular game, Jaylen Brown is going to go off the chain. I think he's going to have an insane game
Nice.
on Christmas
Nice.
Day. That's just my gut check. Yeah. What
I'm
about you,
picking
man?
the best green team to win.
Okay. I will in my eye interpret that to be the Celtics. Um 6 o'clock, we've got the Grizzlies, the Warriors. Like I said, Steph's out, so that really sucks. This is an awesome matchup though. These two teams hate each other.
Yeah, yeah, but this is a good little rivalry. The
Yeah.
new guard, the new generation of Jaw,
Yep. Did
and
he have how many Christmas games has Jaw had? This isn't his first, is it?
yeah, I'm not sure actually.
I'll look
Uh,
that up right now while you go out. What are your thoughts? Like, who do you think is
well,
going to
I
win
think
this? Are you
I
excited to
think
watch this game?
always excited to watch Jaw. I think Jaw's Grizzlies will win. They have a good team. I'm not. It's not just Jaw for sure. Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bain. They've got a lot of really great pieces here. They're they're in contention for a championship this year, and I think this is a big game because you've got the old guard, the team, the dynasty that has continued to win. But I think the Grizzlies have this one in the bag.
Oh, for sure. I remember when I think this was announced. Jaw or something posted on Twitter or whatnot, just like hyped. Like he was so pumped that this game
Yeah.
was going. This was like his Christmas wish. So he's gonna just want to go and kill Draymond. He probably wished his stuff was playing, so it was more of a contestable game. But yeah, they're just gonna. I hope like Jordan Poole like goes off. I hope Kaminga goes off. Maybe
Mm.
Wiseman shows some flashes. That'd be sweet. But yeah, I agree with you. I think Memphis is going to take that
James,
away.
I think I told you this the other day. James Wiseman dropped 30 on the Nets,
You told me that. I couldn't believe that, man. That's nuts.
although the Nets dropped 90 in the first half, 91 on the first half against Golden State. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. They're on like a 7-game winning streak or something like that. Uh, and I'm happy that they're not playing on Christmas. Um, Last game, Phoenix Suns, Denver Nuggets, 8:30 p.m. Again, that's Western time. It's our nightcap. The Phoenix Suns have a new owner, and Matt
Oh yeah,
Ishbia.
right.
Um,
The
yeah,
billionaire.
youngest owner in the league, which is kind of cool.
How old? He's like 14.
Yeah, he's like 14 years old. He's 42, I think.
Oh my.
41, 42. So I think it was him and his brother or something bought into it at a
Wow.
share. The value for it went for 4 billion. He bought the majority share. I think just over it was like 2.2 billion or something like that. So it's awesome. Sarver's out.
Holy moly.
Yeah, man. Is this game? This game's in Denver too, which is kind of cool. Um,
What's
yeah.
cool about that?
Well, I don't know. I would just anticipate when you hear those two games, especially Phoenix these last couple of years,
It'd
that
be in
you would have just
Phoenix.
assumed it would be in Phoenix.
Phoenix
So
has
the fact,
some weird things going on. They're still playing all right, but what the
yeah,
hell is going on between Monty Williams and DeAndre Ayton? Why can't they figure their shit out?
honestly, it's kind of childish. I'm not
So
gonna
much
lie.
finger waving and pointing and yelling, and I mean, I get we're all passionate and want to put, but it's not a good look.
Like this is my opinion, but like from DeAndre Ayton seeing that too, like yeah, it's not very mature to kind of conduct yourself in regards to your team too. Some of that stuff you want to kind of keep private or whatnot or work on, and how that's all fallen out. But I also empathize with DeAndre Ayton, some of the bullshit they had to deal with from the Phoenix organization. I feel like he was the one that they put on the proverbial sword when they fell short. Um, was it the most recent playoffs
Yeah, and then
against
he got
Dallas?
signed to a different team, and then they
Yeah,
matched the offer.
yeah, like shit like that is not good to take care of your guys and also, be that assurance for their confidence. And I think honestly, his confidence was quite shaken by this. But then on top of it, I think the thing that upsets me the most is from Monty Williams' perspective. I'm like, fuck, you're a coach. You're a grown ass old man. You're a fucking coach, and you should be more adult and reasonable in this. Put yourself in DeAndre Ayton's shoes and work with this guy, even if he's being complete obstinate with you, even if he's acting childish with you. The fact you reciprocate some of this bullshit is and you got to recognize that creates more of a destructive nature than it creates opportunity for growth and connectivity as a team. So you're not complicit in all of this, and that kind of upsets me. And obviously, we don't know the full stories, and this is me kind of projecting or what have
Yeah, I
you.
have no idea what it was over.
But still, as a coach, you hear some of those comments, like, did you try to reach out at all over the course of the summer? Because he said that like over that whole summer, that whole off season, the two of them were never in contact once. And I remember when they kind of interviewed about him, he was like very short about it too. And then just some of the fallout that we've seen so far this season, obviously it's been very inconsistent. And when it's been inconsistent like that, in my eye, I just see that is there's not cohesion. And I get it, those couple seasons before you had very strong cohesion as a team. And it's been fractured a little bit, maybe because some of the disappointment that's happened, not some of the fall through in previous seasons. And yeah, players are getting older, such as Chris Paul and what have you, but it's you got to find ways to dig in and stay connected. And
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's what is, and as a coach, like, the buck really starts with you as that individual to try and corral a team.
Yeah, dude. I don't think he's going anywhere. I don't think Monty Williams is going anywhere. The success of the team is in their record right now.
Yeah,
Um, but you want them to come together. At least nobody's punching anybody. Look at how
yeah,
that
that's true.
team's doing.
Yep. Yep. Very, very, very fair. You get that with all of them. And you have strong, very opinionated people. There's big money to be thrown around or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Separate of all that, I think it's gonna be an exciting game. I'm honestly actually kind of pumped to watch this game too, because I just want to watch Jokic play Christmas Day. I need to see a little bit more, I think, firsthand what Jokic is doing this season. I haven't done enough of that.
Oh yeah,
And
there was an amazing bounce pass he did behind through his own legs. He nutmegged himself to another guy, and it was like just so easy. It's so easy for him, which is so much fun to watch. So I take it you got the Nuggets.
yeah, I got the Nuggets that game. I'm gonna root for the Nuggets. I think Phoenix will play well, but
Yeah, I got the
um,
Suns on this one, dude. I think Phoenix is
nice.
gonna. I think Phoenix will win.
Well, it'll be exciting after Christmas, man, to see how we done. And I'm excited for some games. I'm also excited, for us to have some holidays, and I hope you make your flight, my brother, and that
Happy
this is a good Christmas for you, man.
Yeah, man, you too. Merry Christmas to everybody who's been listening. We appreciate it. Thank you.
We do. We really appreciate you being patient with us at times too. Really grateful for whoever listens in and enjoys basketball. I hope everyone also enjoys watching some basketball games Christmas Day, and happy holidays.
Liquid smoke.
We will be back after Christmas. Probably do a pod. We'll find some time to squeeze it in and talk about. There'll be some shenanigans, I'm sure.
We'll talk about all the shenanigans.
So, all right. Again, this is Backyard Basketball presented by the Ordinary Podcasting Network. Thank you to our sponsors, BetStamp. Get your bets in, compare them. Always a great time around the season too to have some fun with some money that you get at Christmas on some games. So check them out, and we'll catch you here later, buddy.
Ciao. Merry Christmas.